What is up, Overkillers? Today we are back with another hardware review, and that is going to be this guy. This is the WingFlex CDU for the Boeing series of aircraft, currently supporting the 737NG, the PMDG 737, and the PMDG 777ER that just released. Stick around, guys, because there's a lot to talk about, including the price, functionality, quality, and just overall experience with the product thus far. Hang tight. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
Overkill simulations, watch us as we fly.
All right, guys, so as I said, this is it. I want to make sure I get it in the camera here. There we go. Up high, in the face. This is the WingFlex CDU for the Boeing series of aircraft. See, it's very low profile. Comes with a nice stand. Go the other way. There we go. So weird when you're talking from the back. And this thing is absolutely phenomenal, but this thing also comes with one heck of a price point, you guys. The price point of this guy at the time of the recording of this video is $599. Now, before any of you skip ahead or say, no way, absolutely not, stick around for a second because we're going to talk about this. The other thing that I want you guys to know right out of the gate is that, yes, I'm keeping this. I am buying it. So, keep that in mind. This is not provided for me for free. I do have to purchase this with my own money. It was provided to me for a review. But if I want to keep it, I have to buy it, which I am going to do. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and start talking about the rest of why we're here. So first off, who is this for? I'm going to say this a couple times. This is for the simmer who wants the best quality. You want you want the highest, you want the best, you want something that's going to be reliable, that works straight out of the box, that's fast, efficient, lightweight, and authentic. The materials that are used are authentic to the real PMDG, the real 737 or Boeing series of aircraft. The keybinds, gosh, I can't talk. The key contacts are very realistic. They all have a nice tactile feel. Okay. The response time is absolutely phenomenal. Now, one of the most beautiful parts about this is the configuration. There is none. There literally is none. And that is a huge thing when it comes to flight simulation equipment. The other thing is one single USB cable. This does not create, like many other displays do, this does not create another display with inside of Windows. This is all software driven. So what that means is that it's less work on, for example, your GPU. You don't have to worry about HDMI cables or anything like that. You don't have to worry about adapters for USB to HDMI or anything like of that nature as well. It's just USB, and it's USB 2.0. So it's not even a 3.0 slot, you guys, which is a big deal. Okay, A, that's a power saver. B, again, it indicates that this is all software driven, that there isn't actually another display being created and used, which does tax the system further. Okay, so it's going to be very, very lightweight on the machine itself. There is absolutely 0 FPS impact to the simulator, again, because it is software driven. The fact that it's not creating another display means that there's no new generated FPS or loss of FPS, so you don't have to worry about that as well. The use of it, as I stated a minute ago, you literally launch their software. It's a WingFlex software. You double click it, it opens, you launch the sim, you load into the aircraft. As soon as the aircraft has electrical power, if the CDU comes on in the aircraft, it comes on here. If the CD goes off on the aircraft, this will probably stay on the previous screen, whatever screen it was last on, but then if you repower the aircraft, it will refresh and go to the correct page. The brightness is device only, meaning that this brightness only affects this device. It does not affect the CDU inside the simulator, but everything else works lightning quick. For the stand was very creatively made. So I'm trying to show you guys best I can here. Sort of weird when you're holding it, but you guys get the idea. It does not move. Once you set on the desk, and you guys are going to see us in action here in just a second, we're going to program the CDU from start to finish for a flight from Tucson to LA. and it doesn't move at all. And I'm sure if many of you guys have ever used any kind of similar configuration like this, what happens? You go to push on them and they move all around because there isn't enough weight or enough friction to keep it there. These have a nice rubber padding underneath it that surprisingly holds it very well. As soon as I saw the stand, I was a little wary, but it's got feet in the back and in the front, and they work phenomenal. I mean, it does not move at all. It doesn't matter if you push it up on top, buttons on the bottom, it doesn't move. And obviously, the lower the angle that you make it, the less it's going to move. It's going to be even less likely to move. So, for example, if you have this down on your knee where it would normally be, it's not going to move at all. Okay, so this, the further higher up like this is going to be more for like what you guys are going to see here in the video for a desk use, right? So let's keep talking for a second about who might be interested in this. Let me set this guy down here. No, I promise I didn't just drop it. Although I did earlier. And it held up to that. So, all right, there we go. Set that guy there. So who should be looking into something like this? Again, this is a very, very expensive piece of hardware. So this is something that you really want to take into consideration when you're looking at this. As someone who has come from the lower end of flight simulation equipment, gotten to experience some of the higher tier end of flight simulation equipment, has had access to low-end peripherals such as mid-range to high-end, such as, for example, Flight Sim Builder and the GNS 530 and the G1000s, which are absolutely amazing pieces of equipment. I would say this is going to be someone who is far more dedicated to two people. This is going to be someone who, just wants the best. You want to know that what you purchase is going to be locked, solid, great, have great technical support, have a good update system, and is just going to work straight out of the box because you spent the money. As you guys know, in flight simulation equipment, as I've mentioned before, you get what you pay for. We've seen it 100 times. We've seen the cheaper end, and we've seen them come and go. We've seen the more expensive guys, and we've all drooled and dreamed, but we know that the quality's there. It just may not be in our reach. So in my personal opinion, someone like this is going to be either someone who just wants the best, and so you're going to spend the money for it, or someone who is very, very dedicated to Boeing. This does not just reflect the 737 series of aircraft. Boeing uses pretty much the same CDU in all of their aircraft. So I would assume that things like this, everything from the 747 lineup through the 737 through the 777. I think the only one that doesn't now is the 787 because it's all touchscreen. But all the previous aircraft are using that same CDU lineup. So that opens up a lot of doors, right? Obviously, that opens up a lot of configuration. So if you're someone who's dedicated, this is going to be great for you. So if you're someone who's building, for example, a 737 pit, okay, you're building a mock-up cockpit of the 737. This would be something for you. You'd obviously want something that's going to be the best, that's going to be accurate, it's authentic, it's one-to-one scaling, same materials that already comes with a lot of the mounting hardware necessary to do that. The mounting holes are already there. It's ready for you to line everything up and plug it in. And again, having only a single USB cable and no other requirements other than the software running in the background. And the software does have the option to start automatically when the sim starts. So again, that's a big kicker as well. As soon as you launch the sim, your CDU will come available. The nice thing is, if it's an unsupported aircraft, the CDU just doesn't do anything. It'll just say WingFlex on the screen. That's all it says. So, you still have the option of moving forward. So with that in mind, guys, remembering that, yes, this is expensive, comes in at $599. However, use the link down in the description below, and you guys can save a bit of money. And then... you're looking for high tier, or you're just a dedicated Boeing kind of guy or gal, this is definitely the device for you. So now let's jump into the simulator, and we will program the CDU from start to finish. Hope you guys enjoy this. It's a lot different than what you're expecting, so stick around. All right, guys. So now we're going to put this bad boy to action. So check this out. So first, obviously, you have all of your same functions that you would normally have. So like, for example, you have your ground functions. I left everything pretty default for right now, so we can... And you notice that as I push on it, it's not sliding. I'm not having to hold it with anything, which is really nice. Move that to the jetway. Request the jetway. Not that everyone hasn't seen a jetway load before, but, you know, it's fun to watch it. I like watching the jetways. Anyway, all of your same information that you would normally have, as you guys can see, it's one-to-one with this simulator. So this is super cool. So now let's go through. I want to show you guys. I want you to think about how fast you are with the mouse, and I'm going to show you guys how fast I am with this. We're going to do a flight that I've done multiple times, and it's from Tucson to LAX. Okay, I'm going to program that, and we're going to program that very, very quickly. Now, the one thing that's a catch here is that we're going to assume that our fuel's already loaded, because I didn't load that here. But so we're just going to go through the FMC portion. You even get the nav data out of date if necessary. I mean, it's a complete repeat. And the only thing that you have to do to make this work is launch their software. I had to do nothing else. I literally started the software, went into the sim. Here we are, right? So let's just start going for it. So we're at KTUS. Oops. Helps when I type it right. There we go. Let's go to our route. Going to KLAX. Our flight number today is Southwest Airlines 4310. Oops, I'm typing too fast. The tactile feel is super nice, like really nice. And we're departing from runway 12 is what we're going to simulate. And let's go to departures and arrivals. And we're going to come off the Burrow 5 with the Gila Bend transition using runway 12. Go to route, activate, go to legs, oh, not legs, excuse me, back to route, next page. From the Gila Bend, we're going to go direct to Eastwood. Okay, from there we're going to go back to departures and arrivals. We're going to find the Hollywood 1 using the Eastwood transition, and come in for runway 24 left using the Cebu transition off of the airway. Go to route again, execute. Let's verify some things on the leg page. And here's where this gets fun too. So to show you a different aspect of using this, that's kind of nice. Oops. Let's come up here. Go to plan. Let's extend this out 80 miles. Now you don't have to have both things in view. We can just step through, look for any discontinuities, breaks in the flight plan, anything that we don't want there. Although it looks actually really solid. Yep, all the way down to the approach line. Cool. So boom, that's done. Now we can go back to our initial reference, and we're at the performance initialization, 0 fuel weight. Pop that in there. Reserves, usually it's 2.0. Cost index, we'll run 25. That's a little high, but what the heck. Cruising altitude, we'll call it flight level 340. Cruise and winds, or wind speed, so we're going to call it 267 at, I don't know, 35 knots. Drop that in there. We'll fix that in a second. Go to our N1 limit. Let's do D rate. Climb 1. Let's go to takeoff performance. Flaps 5. CG. Got a trim of 6.3. Yes, I know. We can't do 280 at Bruin. And then there's our V1. V rotate. V2 153 knots. And there it is, you guys. Configuration's complete. Now, we did have an issue at Bruin. So let's go to Bruin, and let's see here. So we're coming off from 267, now coming down 280 knots. It's saying can't do that, so let's just go try to go 267. We'll keep it the same speed as we were flying at. Drop that up here. Execute. And it looks like other than that, we're good. I don't see any other issues that it's complaining about. And that's it. This, how do I put this, guys? It's a completely different experience. Now, I want you to keep in mind, guys, that I just did a video on an application called SimBox that allows you to use any touch screen to do the same thing. And it is just as fast. It's very quick. It is very, very quick. This is obviously specific to the CDU. the price point of this is obviously something to consider for someone who is a die-hard sim pilot of the Boeing's series aircraft. Now, I want to talk about the Boeing series aircraft just like we did in the beginning of the video. This is supported with the Boeing 737, the Boeing 737NG, currently the Boeing 777ER. So all of the PMDG line of aircraft currently sounds like are supported. Anything that uses the Boeing CDU. So it seems to be operational with anything that has this configuration so far, with obviously more support coming. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a diehard 737 fan. The experience of using this versus any touchscreen is night and day. You wouldn't think so. And I want to remind you guys, I'm paying for this. Okay, I get a little bit of a discount, but I want to stress it's a little bit of a discount. Okay, it's nothing day breaking. It's nice. I'm grateful for it. But I'm paying for this. And the reason why I'm paying for this is because I do fly the 737 quite often. And this is very, very nice. I don't have to run another display. The software is what is populating this. So it's one USB cable. That's it. I don't have to have any adapters. I don't have to configure any new displays with inside of Windows. It just works. And it is very plug and play. So I decided to go ahead and go for this. Now, we still have the WinWing stuff coming, guys. So I want you to keep that in mind. There will be a comparison of that as well, and we will be doing a comparison against this. You guys know that I don't BS on the channel. I'm not going to smoke you guys with anything that is unrealistic or that is unneeded. I will say the quality of this, the buttons, from the buttons to the software to the ease of use, the user integration, the feel of it, the response time of it, it's off the charts. This is a very, very, very nice piece of equipment. The one-to-one scaling compared to the real thing, the mounting holes if you're building a cockpit. Like I said, pretty much everything has been thought about. The way this stand is very nice. Most stands that are this simple like this, they fall off all the time, or they slide, or they move. I don't know how, but it is not moving. And even if we angle it back, I don't know why I would, but that's obviously going to reduce that even more, right? So if anything, I would expect if it was going to move, it would move in its furthest upright position, which is there, and it doesn't. It stays put, whether we're down here on the bottom or up on the top. Like it doesn't matter. So like I can come up here and it does not matter. Lord knows what I'm doing here. Let's go back. I don't know what I did. I guess we'll hit execute. Good thing we're not actually flying this, because I have no idea what I did. For all I know, I just sent us to Jamaica with enough fuel to get to LA. So anyway, I will say this. If you are someone who wants very, very high quality, very, very ultra realistic, very, very simple use, that's the biggest thing. The integration is so simple, guys. You literally launch the software and go into the simulator. That's it. That's it. There's no start program. There's no here's configure this. It recognizes the simulator. It recognizes the aircraft all on its own. And as soon as the aircraft has electrical power, it starts up. For example, if we come up top, I just did a fresh install. That's why. I was like, where'd my key bindings go? But never mind. That makes sense. What do we have? Probably ground power on. And where's our battery? And notice that now nothing's happening. So the screen doesn't necessarily reset, but it goes dead just like inside the simulator. Okay, so we don't have any further operation with this. Now if I would flip everything back on, back to the main screen. Okay, so it's really, really nice. The only thing that I wish that did happen, and this is little, this is totally minor, is that the brightness is specific to the physical device and doesn't impact the simulator at all. So, I mean, I guess that could be a pro and a con depending on what your preference is. I mean, that's so minor. Like, that's the best I can come up with, right? That and the price point is the only negative thing that I come up with. And I got to be careful when I say the price point is negative. The price point is a lot. As I said in the beginning of the video, I wasn't going to lie to you guys. It is an expensive piece of hardware. It is also a very authentic piece of hardware. It is also a very accurate piece of hardware. It is also a very well built piece of hardware with a lot of good weight to it, functionality to it. The response time is fabulous. User integration, again, all of the things that would make the price point what it is what takes it here. So when it comes to flight simulation equipment, you guys know that we have tiers, right? We absolutely have tiers of flight simulation equipment. This is definitely high tier. Okay, this is definitely in the higher end quality. This is like if you guys, for example, compare, I don't know, the honeycomb yoke to say Virtual Fly. Okay, if you go to Virtual Fly's website and look up the price of their yokes compared to a honeycomb, you're going to be up in the price range, right? So it really depends on what you're looking for, what your use case is, how dedicated you are to that. As with anything else, flight simulation equipment in general, you guys know if you've been at this for any length of time, you get what you pay for. Okay, we absolutely get what we pay for. For example, I'm sure you guys, some of you have been there where I am. The honeycomb yoke, for example, versus the Logitech yoke. There's a massive difference in quality, and you can feel it the second you touch the things. And yet they're at the same price point, but we won't talk about that part. But like Logitech or CH Pro rudder pedals compared to Virpil or Thrustmaster TPR rudder pedals. Big difference in the price point too. So these are the things you got to think about. Yes, there are multiple options out there. Everything from touchscreen software, where if you already have a touchscreen, you're talking about $30 for the software, to the WinWing panels that are coming out. We know they're going to be about $150, which I will, as soon as those are available, I will be getting a copy of those. I've already been confirmed with that. So I'll be able to do that comparison up to this quality where, you know, you're up in the higher tier brand. So it really depends on what you're looking for. They are a very, very good, very high quality piece of equipment, and they are dedicated to that price. I also recommend you guys join their Discord. You can find that on their website. If you guys have any questions, you guys can, the developers are really, really cool. The team there seems to be really interested in responding to people and getting the word out about the quality of their equipment. Okay, so again, I hope you guys found use in this video, gave you something to think about. Yes, it's expensive. It is definitely expensive. There will be a link down in the description below if you guys are interested in purchasing one. That will save you a little bit of money off of one. So make sure that you guys check that out. There is a discount link down in the description below that will help you guys out. So by all means, please let me know. And then finally, as always, guys, this is an initial impressions. I'll be using it for a couple of weeks, and then we will do a final thoughts video, and I will let you guys know truly what I think of the WingFlex CDU. And so you guys can expect some more 737 flights, 777 flights. We have the 777 PMDG, or the PMDG 777 PDF guide about to release in the next day or two. It's just about done. So I'm very happy to announce that. So we'll be using this with the 777 as well when we make the video that follows the guide. If you guys are interested in grabbing the guide or any of my other guides, such as the 737, consider joining me on Patreon, guys. It really helps me out, and it makes getting things like this possible. Like I said, I am purchasing this with my own money, you guys. This was not given to me. It was provided to me as a review, but if I want to keep it, which I do, I have to purchase it. So I want you guys to know that up front. All right, guys, as always, stay safe and healthy, and I will catch you guys in the next one.